On New Year's Eve, it took just a few minutes on live TV for the internet to explode. One familiar face appeared on screen, and suddenly everyone thought they were seeing someone new. Social feeds lit up, comment sections spiraled, and a simple holiday broadcast turned into a full-blown debate about what had changed, and why people were so obsessed with it. This wasn't some unknown celebrity. This was Andy Cohen, a man viewers feel like they've known for decades. And that's what made the reaction so intense. When a face you've watched year after year suddenly looks different, it doesn't just spark curiosity. It triggers suspicion, speculation, and a strange sense of betrayal. But beneath the jokes and rumors was something deeper. Questions about aging in the spotlight. About how honest celebrities are expected to be. And about why the internet feels entitled to answers when someone's appearance shifts, even slightly. And the wildest part? This story didn't stop at his face. The moment came during CNN's New Year's Eve broadcast, the kind of event millions half-watch while counting down to midnight. The lights were bright, the energy was loose, and the cameras stayed close. When Andy Cohen appeared alongside his longtime on-air partner Anderson Cooper, nothing about the segment was supposed to be shocking. It was meant to be playful, chaotic, and familiar. But almost instantly viewers noticed something they couldn't unsee. His face looked smoother. More sculpted. Different enough that people paused their celebrations to grab screenshots. Within minutes, social media filled with side-by-side comparisons, zoomed-in photos, and captions asking the same question in a dozen different ways. What happened to his face? The reaction moved fast. Almost unnervingly fast. Memes appeared before the countdown even ended. Comment sections turned into armchair cosmetic clinics. Some joked. Others speculated. A few insisted they could pinpoint exactly what had been done. The theories grew more dramatic by the hour, fueled by the idea that this wasn't a subtle change, but something sudden and extreme. What really shocked viewers was the contrast. This was someone known for looking relatively the same year after year, aging publicly and comfortably. So when that familiar look shifted even slightly, it felt bigger than it actually was. The internet didn't just notice, it spiraled. And when the rumors finally reached him, his reaction surprised everyone. Instead of going quiet or issuing a stiff statement through a publicist, Andy Cohen did the opposite. He went straight to the microphone. On Andy Cohen Live, he addressed the rumors head-on, and with a grin. No outrage. No denial spiral. Just amusement. He joked that he was so flattered by the idea that people thought he had dramatically changed his face. And that single word shifted the entire tone. What was supposed to embarrass or expose him suddenly sounded like a compliment. The gossip lost its edge when he treated it like fan fiction instead of an accusation. That confidence caught people off guard. Celebrities usually react to appearance rumors with carefully worded deflections or defensive explanations. And he didn't. He leaned into the absurdity of it, almost enjoying the fact that the internet believed he had somehow reinvented his entire face overnight. By owning the joke, he took control of the narrative before it could turn cruel. But he didn't stop there. He admitted to more than people expected. After laughing off the wildest theories, Andy Cohen decided to get specific. He broke down what had actually changed, and what absolutely hadn't. No secret overhaul. No dramatic transformation. Just a few small tweaks that online had somehow turned into a full-blown reinvention. He admitted to getting the teeniest bit of Botox, emphasizing how minimal it was. Not a frozen face, not a drastic shift, just maintenance. He also mentioned 4 minor veneers in the front, clarifying that they were subtle enough that most people wouldn't even notice them on their own. The problem, he suggested, wasn't what he'd done, it was how the internet magnified it. Then came the real combination that changed everything. Weight loss and heavy makeup. He explained that the night of the broadcast involved intense lighting, professional glam, and even extra bronzing after asking his co-host's makeup artist to warm him up more. On camera, under studio lights, those elements stacked together and created a look people weren't used to seeing. The contrast was striking, not because of deception but because the online narrative had grown far more dramatic than reality. His transparency stood in sharp contrast to the exaggerated conclusions being thrown around online. And that honesty opened the door to a much bigger conversation. The weight loss reveal was where the tone subtly shifted. Months earlier, Andy had already acknowledged that he wasn't happy with how he looked and decided to take action. He later shared that he had microdosed a GLP-1, a popular weight loss medication, explaining that he felt it would be hypocritical not to be upfront about it. That admission raised eyebrows. Some praised the honesty, saying it was refreshing to hear a celebrity admit how the change really happened. Others worried about what it signaled, whether openness like this normalized shortcuts or set unrealistic expectations. Andy framed it differently. For him, it wasn't about image alone. It was about health, discipline, and being transparent with an audience he spent decades questioning about their own bodies. But the conversation didn't end with weight or looks. When the topic shifted from his face to his body, the reaction became even more complicated. Andy Cohen revealed that part of his transformation came from microdosing a GLP-1 medication, a detail he shared openly, knowing it would spark debate. Almost immediately, fans split into two camps. Some applauded the honesty, arguing that transparency was better than pretending weight loss just happened. Others worried about what that openness might encourage. Online discussions popped up questioning whether talking so casually about medical aids normalized something that should be handled more privately. None of it was framed as wrongdoing, just concern, curiosity, and speculation swirling at once. Andy explained his reasoning clearly. After spending years asking celebrities intimate questions about their diets, routines, and bodies, he felt it would be hypocritical to stay silent. He wasn't presenting it as a miracle fix or advice, just explaining what worked for him during a time when he felt unhappy with his weight and wanted to improve his health. Still, the internet did what it always does. Some reports claimed it was purely cosmetic. Others suggested health concerns played a role. Andy himself pointed to a broader wellness journey, mentioning blood pressure issues and plaque in his arteries, grounding the conversation in responsibility rather than image. But his appearance wasn't the only controversy that night. As the night unfolded, the focus quietly shifted from appearance to behavior. After the broadcast, comments made during the celebration sparked backlash, not from viewers online, but from New York City's Mayor Eric Adams. What had started as lighthearted chaos was suddenly framed as something more concerning. Adams publicly criticized Andy's on-air comments, describing them as reckless and unhelpful, and suggesting that the tone crossed a line. He didn't accuse him of anything illegal, but his words carried weight. The message wasn't playful, it was stern. Concern replaced humor almost overnight. That response split the public yet again. Some defended Andy, saying New Year's Eve broadcasts have always been messy and unfiltered. Others agreed with the mayor, arguing that the segment felt uncomfortable rather than funny. The conversation shifted fast, away from jokes, memes, and face speculation and toward responsibility, influence, and public conduct. What made it hit harder was the timing. Just hours earlier, Andy was laughing off rumors and owning the narrative. Now the tone had turned serious and the scrutiny felt different, heavier, sharper, and less forgiving. And suddenly, the conversation wasn't just about Andy Cohen anymore. For decades, Andy Cohen has been the one asking the questions. He built an empire by putting celebrities under the microscope, pressing them about their relationships, their choices, their bodies, and their mistakes. Viewers got used to seeing him as the observer, the moderator, the one safely behind the desk. That's what made this moment so ironic. Overnight, the roles flipped. Suddenly, Andy wasn't guiding the conversation. He was the conversation. Every angle of his face, every comment he made, every laugh and pause was dissected the same way he's dissected others for years. Aging in public leaves no room for neutrality. When a celebrity looks the same, they're praised for aging naturally. When they change, they're accused of hiding something. Men aren't spared either. The scrutiny just looks different. The double standard isn't whether someone changes, but how much explanation the public feels entitled to. Andy's response highlighted that tension perfectly. Be honest and people analyze you more. Stay quiet and they assume the worst. There's no winning, only choosing how much of yourself you're willing to give. Which leads to the question fans can't stop asking. There's a reason this story spread so fast, and it has less to do with Botox or makeup than people think. Celebrity faces feel familiar. Viewers watch them age in real time year after year, until those faces start to feel almost personal. So when something shifts, even subtly, it triggers a reaction that goes beyond curiosity. Social media turns that instinct into a magnifying glass. A single screenshot becomes evidence. A passing joke becomes a theory. Speculation stacks on speculation until the original moment is completely buried. What might have been a quiet change in another era becomes a viral mystery, fueled by algorithms that reward outrage and certainty over nuance. That's where the line gets blurry. Transparency is praised, until it invites entitlement. When celebrities explain themselves, people want more details. When they stop explaining, the silence is treated like proof of guilt. Andy's situation sat right in the middle of that contradiction, exposing how quickly openness can turn into obligation. And this might be the most revealing part of all. In the end, this was never really about surgery or makeup or a few pounds lost. It was about visibility. What happens when someone lives their entire adult life in front of cameras, and the world feels entitled to every detail? Andy Cohen didn't lose control of the story because his face changed. He lost it because people thought they owned the explanation. Instead of pushing back, he did something rare. He claimed the narrative without fighting it. He laughed at the rumors, clarified the facts, and refused to act embarrassed for living openly. That choice didn't quiet the noise, it redirected it. And in a strange way, that might have been the point. Because honesty doesn't always end speculation. Sometimes it feeds it. The more transparent someone is, the more people believe there must be something else hiding beneath the surface. Andy Cohen's moment proved that in today's culture, being open isn't about stopping rumors. It's about deciding which ones deserve your attention and which ones don't.